So though the transfer portal news has slowed down, that doesn't mean it's gone away, nor is it going to go away. Because one thing I've talked about is as we get into spring and especially get out of spring practices, players are going to have a better understanding of where they sit on the depth chart, and we're going to see another boom in the transfer portal. One we've got to watch. But today, we need to talk about a move that happened in the transfer portal this weekend that is sure to cause ripple effects, and it's sure to cause intrigue. And that's Jayden Daniels, the former quarterback for Arizona State, picking his new collegiate destination, which is LSU, a move we need to talk about. But before we do, as always, y'all know the drill. I want to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, Y for yes, N for no. Do you believe the presence of Jayden Daniels changes the outlook of LSU's season this upcoming year? And let me know what you're thinking. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification. I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed the content, like and comment down below. Those interactions, though small, are truly massive to content creators such as myself, and both getting picked up and maintained by the YouTube algorithm. But with all that being said, let's hop right into this. And not long ago, I talked about the situation going on at Arizona State and how it was the epitome of chaos. When you look around at the situation happening there, I wasn't surprised players are looking at a door and a way out, and Jayden Daniels is certainly no exception. Daniels is an intriguing football player. He came onto the collegiate scene and set it on fire his freshman year, and really it's been chasing that ever since. The collegiate world was waiting for Jayden Daniels to take that next step. Unfortunately, not only did that next step never happen, the Arizona State team as a whole kind of started to sputter, so it's not like this is all on him. But when things are clicking, you're talking about an intriguing talent. He's got the ability to hurt you with his legs. He's got a big arm, and if you put together the total package, you have a quarterback with incredibly high upside. So when he hit the free market via the transfer portal, I knew it was only a matter of time before a lot of the top institutions in the nation who feel like they could be one dynamic quarterback away from really making something happen were going to be calling his phone. And reports were flying out that Missouri looked to be the landing spot, and they were right that he was going to the Tigers. They just got the wrong Tigers, and now we know it is, of course, the LSU Tigers. So, what does this mean for LSU, a team who's had a coaching change this offseason, but has also utilized the transfer portal in an incredibly positive fashion? Remember, I always talk about the transfer portal as a pendulum. LSU has lost really talented players to the transfer portal this offseason. There's no denying that. There's no arguing against that. However, you are going to lose players to the transfer portal. That's the nature of its existence. It's what you're able to do with adding players that's going to be very important. And that's where Brian Kelly really put his feet to the ground and made something happen. LSU took in a top 10 class in terms of transfer portal acquisitions, and I think that's going to be key for Brian Kelly and staff having a more successful first year than could have been had. He's able to get in guys that he's seen at the collegiate level. He knows that we're able to translate from high school to college. He's watched their tape. He knows what they're about, and he can bring them into LSU, which can only accelerate the ability he has to get the team going. And Jayden Daniels might just be the cherry on top to what LSU was able to add in via the transfer portal. Jayden Daniels is someone who, like I said as we started this video, hit the college football scene and set it on fire in his first year, and everybody was talking about if he continues to progress, I mean, the Pac-12 is going to have a problem trying to stop this young man. If he's able to go to LSU that fields great offensive pieces around him, and if they're able to get that offense clicking, it's going to be really interesting to see what LSU is able to do, and henceforth why I asked the question at the beginning, do you believe that this is a move that could change the outlook of what we think LSU is to be this upcoming season? Because at the very least, when we see that Jayden Daniels chooses LSU, the next question we must ask is, well, what about LSU's new offensive coordinator? Mike Denbrock not only has a deep familiarity and understanding of working with Brian Kelly. And I've talked about this before. If you're having a coaching overhaul and you hire a new head coach and that guy's able to go out, identify, and then hire guys he's worked with, I think that's a major net positive because those individuals have an understanding of the expectations to be laid forth. They've already dealt with them, and so they know how to hit the ground running in a more positive fashion than somebody who may just be hitting the staff for the first time. Not saying that that person working for Brian Kelly for the first time is going to hit the ground with any less less intensity. It's just the fact that familiarity breeds comfort. Comfort can allow you to see what's in front of you a bit easier. So when you look at it like that, Mike Denbrock has experience with Brian Kelly. He's worked with Brian Kelly in the past, both at a former institution and then at Notre Dame. And then he went on to become the offensive coordinator for Cincinnati. And that's where this gets interesting. Because when we look at it, what he was able to do with Desmond Ridder makes you really excited at the prospect of what he could do with Jayden Daniels. Desmond Ridder is a guy who has that dual threat ability, almost having 100 carries every single year. His lowest carry year was 98. Very effective on the ground, but also very effective through the air. And if they can get Jayden Daniels to start mimicking some of that, this is going to be a really intriguing quarterback battle going forward through the spring and into the summer. This is a situation we've got to keep an eye on, and especially when you look at the new offensive coordinator that LSU was able to bring in, an individual that already has had success with a quarterback that's similar stylistically to Jayden Daniels and Desmond Ridder. But if you add in another wrinkle in your offense of a mobile quarterback that has legit dangerous mobility, well, now you've just added another thing that the defense has to cover. So with all that in mind, hop down to the comments. Let me know what you're thinking about this move, because I thought this was a great move by Brian Kelly, someone who's really done well in the transfer portal, and I'm really intrigued to see their first year as LSU's head coach. That's it. See ya.